What's up, guys? We are live. Welcome to the Telegram channel and Supergroup AMA. I'm going to let this thing fill up a little bit more. We do have a small audience, but I want to see some more guys online, and then we'll jump right into it. I wanted to do this and put this out there for you guys. I haven't been able to be as active as I want to in the Telegram recently. I was moving, taking care of some other stuff and making sure some stuff was sorted, so it's one of the first things. Got to sort my chair. It's one of the first things that I wanted to get taken care of was to put out some content for the Telegram again. So checking in. Twitter has been really quiet. I know the trades have been moving slow. I know the charts have been moving slow. So I wanted to pop in here, answer some questions if you guys have them, and really talk about anything you guys have questions about. Hopefully I can help out. Hopefully I can provide a little bit of value, and I can learn a little bit more about some of you guys. So throw in any questions that you guys have. I don't have an agenda. I do not have a itinerary for this stream. This is a pure AMA. So fire in any questions. I'm probably going to start doing these. You know, I really want to get back to doing coin chats, so I don't want to kind of solidify a schedule for these yet. But I think I'm gonna put these out. I think every Sunday I'm gonna try to do a Telegram AMA, and I think that'll give you guys a chance to hopefully get some of your questions answered. I obviously don't have the answers to everything, but I will do my best to at least point you in the right direction or give you my opinion. And that's the best I can do. So. What's up, Yaman? Let me give a quick shout out to everyone that's in here. Lionel got in here super quick. What's up? He's coming in from Kuala Lumpur. What's going on? What's going on, Rico? Pascal already has some questions. I'll check those out. What's up, Mr. Clean? Shout out, Mr. Clean. What's up, Warren? Tommy, Warren again. Yasir, Roberto, Adrian, Hugo. All right, we have a pretty cool crowd in here. What's up, Ziva? All right, what's going on, guys? So. What's up, Aaron? Aaron from Berlin. What's going on, Zaid? Cool, we got a good crew in here. I was going to tweet it, but I figured I would keep the audience relatively small. We can get some questions answered. I'm going to keep this 10 minutes, guys, just because I have a few other things that I want to wrap up. I always run out of time at the end of the day, so let's see how much I can cover. Until then, I'm going to pack in some good stuff, hopefully, and then we will go from there. I'm going to zoom out real quick just to give a big picture of Bitcoin. Fire in any questions. I'm just going to pick the next one that comes in and go from there. I don't want to scroll up. What's up, Warren? Oh, nice. Warren from South Africa. Thanks for the show with Matt Brown the other day. Hell yeah, man. It was a lot of fun being in South Africa. Thanks for coming out. What's up, Adrian? Yaman, showing V some love. I like V. Full disclosure, I'm personally invested in V. Yasir has the best question to start this stream. This is probably going to be the theme of this live stream. Yaman, I'll take that in 1 second. Yasir's question is my thoughts on Elliott wave. So I posted a thread the other day about Elliott wave theory and kind of my opinion on it and how it's subjective and why I think it's probably the most subjective out of any TA that I've ever seen. So just to clear this up really quick, this will be about a minute answer, and then I'll get the other questions, guys. So pause on throwing them in. Why I don't like Elliott wave theory, and no disrespect to anyone that uses Elliott wave theory. If they use it and it works, more power to them. However, that's the opposite of really what I want to do with TA. It's the opposite of what I want to focus on with TA. What I like to look at with TA, I'm looking at very raw data. I'm looking at objective data. So in a chart, you have price, this is the y-axis, you have time, this is the x-axis. And then you have volume as well. Those are objective things. You know, those are numbers. Can't debate that. The tools that I like to use are also tools that are objective. So when I'm drawing a trend line, no one can argue that this isn't the correct trend line. If let's say, you know, draw a downtrend resistance, I'm just connecting the peak to the peak and I'm going to extend it. There's only one way to do that. There's only one objective way to draw that trend line, just like there's only one objective way to draw this channel, just like there's only one objective way to draw a fib retracement. So let's say I'm drawing this fib retracement. I'm just going to take a fib tool from down here, swing low, up to the swing high. That's the only way you can draw that fib. There's only one correct way to draw that fib. And what that fib does, it projects out levels of possible retracement that price could retrace to before it dips and moves higher. There's only one way to draw that fib. It's objective. The only problem that I have with Elliott wave theory is that it seems to be the most subjective technical analysis that I've ever seen anyone do. And what I mean by that is, if I zoom in and I'm drawing the same fibs, there's still only one way to draw a fib retracement from this swing low to this swing high. It would still involve drawing from the swing low to the swing high. That's the only way you could draw that fib retracement. For an Elliott wave, you know, I see people in it, and it looks like, you know, maybe let's call this the wave or the trend. Sometimes I see the 1 here, the 2 here, 3, 4, 5, or I can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it's just, and then when they project out the 5, there's no rhyme or reason to an area that's being picked. It's very subjective. It leaves a lot of bias, a lot of kind of emotion, a lot of your own kind of idea of where it could go. I like to use TA that's objective. I try to remove myself from the decision making. I want to only be looking at objective data. So kind of a long-winded answer, but that's why I only look, you know, that's why I only use objective stuff when I'm doing TA. I want to remove myself. That's the whole point of TA. You're trying to get raw data, analyze the price and volume data. You want to take out your biases, take out your emotion. Elliott wave is kind of inserting your emotion and somehow trying to predict. I don't like Elliott wave for that reason. I'll do a full video on that. Yasir has a good question. Just one quick follow-up question for this, guys. Isn't fib also subjective in terms of working? If it hits, then people are confident. If it doesn't, people shrug it off. So that's the difference, Yasir. So I'm not talking about whether or not it works or whether or not it's consistent or whether or not it hit for this current trend. All I'm saying is there's only one objective way to draw the fib. It's from the swing low to the swing high. There's only, and then, you know, if it reaches the retracement and it doesn't move, okay, the indicator failed. But, you know, in Elliott wave, there's probably 1,000 ways. You know, you could present this trend right here, this swing low to this swing high, and you could pick, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1,000 different Elliott waves that you can draw, and some people will project the wave 5 up here. Some people will project the wave 5 here. Some people project it here. It's extremely subjective. It includes your biases. There's no way that I can come in here with a bias and say, I'm going to draw my fib retracement from here. I like this area. That's incorrect. That's an incorrect way to draw the Fibonacci. There's only one way. It has to go from the swing low to the swing high. No subjectivity to it. So whether or not it works, that's a side element. That's what I let the market determine. There's only one way to draw it, though. So it's completely objective in that sense. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I'm going to take a question from Cameron. Doing research on DBC, its near accumulation zone of the chart. I like the project. Any opinion on AI in crypto? I'm not familiar with Deep Brain Chain, but I do support the Singularity Net project. I don't own any tokens, but I personally worked with that team and kind of and had a lot of talks on how they're going to design their token sale structure. It was one of the only token sales that I've provided kind of my opinion on in our Venture Coinist Telegram, and it performed very well. So really happy it performed well. Really happy for anyone that got in, and I really support anything that team is doing, regardless of the token price. I support what that team's vision is. I know them personally. They're great guys. I don't know anything about DBC. Sorry, Phil. What about, Luke says, what about drawing a fib from the swing high to the swing low? Yeah, that's still objective. So the next trend, if I'm going to draw a fib, I'm going to draw it from the swing high to the swing low. There's only one way to do it. It's always from the swing high to the swing low, or it's always from the swing low to the swing high. Always objective. There's no other way to draw it. It's always objective. Warren, can you give us a TA on ADA? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do a TA on ADA right now. I just don't track that coin. Yasir says, can you please show me the proper use of fib on a fresh coin? What your expectation is moving forward? Yasir, I've already taken a couple from you. I'm going to wait for a different one. I want to make sure a couple other people get their questions answered here. What else do we have? Luke, does that make sense? Cool. Good stuff, dude. You know, like I said, guys, not dismissing Elliott wave. Sure. If that works for you, that's great. But that's the opposite of what I want to do with TA. I want to take out the subjectivity. I want to make it very objective, remove my emotions, remove my bias, and look at clear, raw, objective data. Cool. KVLB says, what other indicators do you use to determine your entry points? KVLB, I'm really simple, right? I use very simple line tools. So looking at this Bitcoin chart, I'm just going to zoom in here, guys. If you're tracking over here, I literally use simple horizontal line, and this is just establishing the range we've been trading in for a little bit. I use the simple line tools when I'm drawing the long-term log channel. This is just a line projecting out, and then I use fibs. Really simple line tools, really simple fibs. I try to keep it as simple as possible, as objective as possible, and kind of reduce the noise. I keep an RSI on my chart as well. I don't look at it too often. And then volume's also always on there as well. Yeah, thanks, Yasir. Throw me a like. I don't mind. This video isn't public anyways, so you don't have to throw me a like, man. It's all good. I'm just doing this. I feel like I owe you guys. I appreciate the support in the Telegram, so I wanted to answer some of your guys' questions. Cool. Warren said, what's the best time frame to use a fib? Warren, it really doesn't matter, man. Like, any time frame would work. Anything below 30 minutes is when it gets a little bit shaky. A lot of patterns are going to break down. TA breaks down a little bit in terms of that, unless you're scalping. But it'll work on any time frame. It's more just about how long you intend to hold the position, right? So if I want to scalp, if I want to swing trade for an hour or two, then yeah, using fibs on a 15-minute chart might be valid. If I'm just trying to determine what the overall direction of Bitcoin is over the next week or two, then looking at a 15-minute chart and drawing fibs is probably ridiculous. You know, it probably doesn't help. Hopefully that helps. Ziva, what are my favorite patterns? I don't look for too many patterns, man. I recognize them all. I've looked at charts long enough, so I recognize every wedge and head and shoulders and this and that. I'm not too much of a pattern trader, to be honest. Everything already can just be identified as resistance and support. So with every head and shoulders, you're just looking at a resistance or a support. With every rising wedge, you're just looking at a resistance or a support. Honestly, when you boil it down to that, you might actually find yourself kind of getting caught up less in the bias of the actual of the formation, if that makes sense. So if you're looking at a rising wedge, instead of saying, oh, this is definitely going to break down, this is definitely going to break down, if you just look at the resistance and look at the support, you don't have to have the bias of, oh, it's going to break down, oh, it's going to break down. If the support breaks, the support breaks, and then you know it's going to go lower. If the resistance breaks, you know, I would just focus even simpler than most patterns would have you think. Yasir says, do you record ICOs? All right, I'm going to stop this at 15 minutes, guys. We're running over. Patrick says, icon thoughts and chart. I like icon long-term. I don't look at the chart. Yasir says, do you record ICOs on a spreadsheet? I do. I have my own grading schedule, grading score. It looks similar to Ian Bellina's. It's a little bit different. I have different grading metrics. But Ian Bellina probably has, you know, one of the most well-known guy's very good. Neo, have you talked about the ETC ZCL airdrop? I'm very bullish ZCL. I've been talking about ZCL for as long as I can remember. Everyone that FUDs it, I continue to hold. Have conviction in your trades, guys. If someone FUDs it on Twitter, if someone does whatever, have conviction in your own idea. I'm still holding ZCL. It's not investment advice. Luke says, what's your most common time frame to hold for a swing trade? My trades are days to weeks. Lately, I haven't traded much at all, except for ZCL. Christos says, you confident with Bitcoin outcome? Do you expect it to drop? Christos, I'm bullish medium to long term. I do think this is the local bottom of this kind of cycle, this hitting the bottom of this long-term log channel. But I am bearish short term. I don't think we break this 9,400 resistance personally. If we do, I'm ready to be proven wrong. And if we get a 4-hour close above it, I'll be bullish. Until then, I do think we move back down a little bit lower. I just don't think we're ready for it. I think stocks are going to drag us down. Ziva says, what about Z? Asked about V. I think you forgot about him. You're right. I did forget about him. I'm very bullish V. I saw the Block V team present at BlockCon. I'm a big fan of what V is doing. It's a little bit disheartening that they haven't really focused at all on kind of communicating with investors or working on exchanges. But what can you do? I mean, some projects are going to churn out updates. I know they're working really hard. I think Q3 or Q4 is when they're actually going to produce something tangible that we can see. So hopefully we can see that Q3, Q4. I know they're working on upgrading their app for mobile devices. So maybe by the time they roll out a project, maybe that's when they get added. Bittrex just started adding tokens again, so I'm looking out. I mean, they have serious backing from big names in this space. Brock Pearson, I want to be in too. I'm personally invested, so full disclosure. Yasir says, why are you holding out on us? Share the spreadsheet. I might share the spreadsheet in the future, man. I'm thinking about different ways to kind of share my content. Right now, I'm keeping it to myself. I don't want to create FOMO or FUD or anything. What do you think about MAN Matrix AI Network? I'm unfamiliar, Luca. I'm sorry. Christo's cool. Yaman says, do you think the Tether FUD would affect V's growth with being the similar team? I don't think so at all. I think the Tether FUD is, I'm going to come flat out and say it. I think it's a bit ridiculous. I don't buy into any of the Tether FUD. If you're going to fraud someone, you wouldn't do it with a transparent technology. And so that's my only thoughts about Tether. I'm still bullish V. All right, guys, we're at 15 minutes. Hopefully I answered, I think, like 10 or 15 or 20 questions. I'm going to put this on an actual schedule. Hopefully I can pump them out on Sundays and I can actually chart some coins for you guys. But thanks for tuning in for the first AMA. I wanted to get a quick video out there. I wanted to answer some questions. Thank you guys so much for the support in the Telegram, in the channel. I really sincerely appreciate it. I'm going to get way more consistent with providing updates in there, providing breakdowns, providing everything. I've just been moving and sometimes life happens and I got to keep up with it. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Seriously grateful for you guys for having the audience and answering some questions, learning about you guys, learning from you guys. I'm signing off. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again.